on here, and then we're gonna look at the teams, and then we're gonna go, of course, to the players and to watch the finals. So David Walsh defeated Sean Eli, as you guys saw, because that was the streamed match. Then on the opposite side of the bracket, we had Norvik, who you guys had seen win on stream, and Norvik was playing against Dean, and Dean came out on top. Those guys only got to complete a single game. Their one game took an exorbitantly long amount of time. Nick, do you get to see some of the details of that to kind of let people know what happened?
I saw the end. Basically, both players had very little way of getting the other board clear.
Okay, makes sense.
And all the damage is being done by human torches. There's no way to clear sidekicks. Both players were having a lot of trouble ramping up into Green Goliath. Or I think only Dean had Green Goliath, but they had trouble ramping up into something too substantial, and it was this big standoff, slowly building up their line. They actually had to field all of their sidekicks to slowly try to
field 8 sidekicks. Ooh.
And PXG's in the game, but
yeah, but he doesn't count anymore at that point.
Exactly.
Like, what does he do? Nothing.
They couldn't afford to keep the board very clear anymore.
That's some wild stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a team preview to kind of just look at the cards before we go over to the players. So, David's team is no secret at this point. So he's using the Manticore to kind of shut off other people's polymorph ability and stop kobolds, which, we're not as prevalent today, I think, as the last 2 days made them out to be.
Yeah. Well, they weren't that prevalent even the last 2 days, but some of the best players are piloting kobold teams.
That is a better way to put it. Yeah, that some players saw a lot of success with kobold, so to be prepared for them doesn't make a lot of sense. So Spider-Man Webslinger, I don't know that I've seen anyone purchase this, but I understand why it's there.
Yep.
For get all the other attackers through.
It's similar to Villainous Pact, or basically mass blocker clearance, but it's one that you can sit on the field and wait until you have what you need to go.
It can you can get it early and not care too much. So of course Wolverine, Professor X, Blue Eyes, we see a ton of. Doom Caliber Knight is some cool stuff as far as deals with Prismatic Spray, deals with Millennium Puzzle. Lord of D, really, I think this guy is kind of the scale tipper that there wasn't a formerly Weapon 10 mirror match going into the Nationals metagame, and now that there is, Dave's kind of pivoted to using this one.
Exactly, because you buy the polymorph, and then the polymorph is both offensive and defensive now.
Right.
On the defense, you just throw in the Lord of D. Human Paladin is also a popular replacement for the Lord of D against Weapon 10.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Just has a little bit less of a body. Doesn't allow you to push quite easily for lethal damage.
Yeah, I think that if you're already doing something like Slifer or Magic Missile, though, I could run into kobolds, and then Paladin gets a little crazy. So Blue Eyes, you said, is every place, and then Jinzo solves that problem. How do I do the final damage once Wolverine has done most of it? So let's take a look at Dean's team. I think Dean's team is pretty different. Yeah, this is totally
so
out there.
Dean's team is. I lost to Dean's team in the round of 16, and
okay,
I would call Dean's team like the team of a really skilled player. It's specifically made so that to force mistakes in a way. It doesn't run PXG, so if you come here expecting PXG, making a team without accounting for the non-PXG matchup, you're just going to lose. It's because he's fully ready for that matchup.
For sure.
He has Solomon Grundy, which has seen some play as a Green Goliath counter.
Yeah.
It works better than Millennium Puzzle because it can be used over and over again. Every single turn, you kill the Grundy with Blue Eyes, or if you don't have priority, Grundy will at least make sure that Hulk doesn't survive. Comes back next turn.
That's true. You get that reliable access to him. I mean, sometimes you can make that true with Millennium Puzzle because you're going to recycle all your dice and get to your bag so frequently, but you don't have that burden with Grundy, which is fantastic. Hellblazer, Hulk, Human Torch, Gabi kind of need no introduction. What are your thoughts on Deadpool?
So Deadpool was pretty much for the non-PXG matchup. I guess he's been practicing it a lot because in a lot of non-PXG matchups, for some reason right now, Human Torch is kind of this decider.
Oh, What's that?
So I think we're trying to start.
I have about an hour. Yeah, because it's the finals. It's a 50-minute best of 3. So there was a question about how much longer is the Dice Master stream, and the answer is it's approximately an hour.
There's a lot of HeroClix fans waiting to see some clicks.
There are some. I don't know. I'm not 100% that we're gonna switch over to clicks just because it's gonna be so late. But
okay.
we'll see what happens. And then Storm Weather Witch, primarily there for the global, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got me.
Yeah, I heard that's unfortunate. So let's switch over and give the players a thumbs up that they can begin.
Dean's basic actions are Distraction and Mystic Box, which basically is just the Transfer Power global, but maybe if he brings a different card, people won't realize there's Transfer Power in the game.
It's true, and yeah, I think that's part of it. I also think that Transfer Power is not that great of a card, so I think being able to switch over and kind of maybe have a more useful ability on it could be good. Well, might be equally useless. I don't really remember.
Well, Dean fields a lot of sidekicks, so Transfer Power tends to get pretty good value for him.
Yeah.
And especially if his opponent doesn't pay attention to the fact that he has Transfer Power.
For sure.
Then a sidekick would just swing through for 6 damage or something like that.
Yeah. So, do you think this matchup is favorable for either player, or do you think just even and it's going to come down to the rolls?
It's going to... If David misses the first Wolverine roll, then things will be kind of rough because Dean fields a lot of characters, and then David doesn't have an amazing board clear. He'll have to start using Spider-Man and swing and building a board.
Yeah.
Which is kind of frustrating. I mean, if he gets Dean down to 10, that's workable, but if you have to work around a board while they're at 20 because you couldn't get damage through yet, that's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
Manticore's going to help out a little bit with that. He can just keep swinging with a way oversized Wolverine, +4/+4 Wolverine, and slowly knock out sidekicks and don't let him come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see what fielding the sidekick. Nothing too surprising there. He might be able to take advantage of David's Blue Eyes global ability.
I wonder if David will recognize that Dean is not terribly phased by Jinzo.
Because I think he has to. Because I mean, Dean didn't bring PXG. He's just ready to play the game without it, probably.
Exactly.
And overall, Dean has. I think the average is probably like 3 or 4 in terms of characters with globals, and Dean's only got 2. So
yeah,
it describes what he's ready to deal with. Okay, so there's
a Blue Eyes. He uses that a lot, and he's going straight into Solomon Grundy. An interesting thing. It's basically his puzzle. Yeah, it's something that can get rid of Jinzo on his opponent's turn, so that he can still use ramp.
Yeah, and I mean it also is gonna get rid of Wolverine potentially.
Exactly. There's very few things in the game that allows you to remove a character while it's their turn.
Right.
And that's becoming more and more important.
Yeah, we saw some Grundy play yesterday in someone's villain team that they had shown up with. So that was cool.
That might be one of Dean's friends.
It might be his friend Brandon, perhaps.
Maybe. He ran Black Manta Deep Sea Deviant with it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think I played that team. It was really frustrating because I needed to push through my final damage, and I'm looking at my Green Goliath. It's like, it's just going to die if I try to clear his board because of Grundy.
Yeah. It's tough to get the board clear through on Grundy.
I felt a little bad. It was during the qualifiers. I think I might have knocked him out of qualification, and he was a good player. Yeah.
I mean,
there's
usually more good players than there are spots.
Yeah, maybe if I had accepted a tie, he could have made it in. But I was afraid my ranking was too low, so I asked to just play it through.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing that many players would do. Okay. Wow, he's not using one of the starter set dice bags. That's weird.
That's weird. I think I'm the only one I've seen use it.
Nick and I are the biggest fans of our dice bags that come in the starter.
You know, it's just because you kind of like pat the dice bag and you already know how many dice it is.
Yeah,
in there.
it's helpful. Okay, so
All right. So
he's
he's
going
got
to do a lot of
sidekick.
re-rolling.
Yeah. What exactly is he chasing? He seems a little bit frustrated. Doesn't seem like a terrible roll.
I mean, I guess he just, he's got 8 sidekicks showing,
Yeah.
and he didn't hit the Gabi, and he didn't hit the Hulk.
There's no ping, so the sidekicks will at least sap away at David's masks.
Yeah.
So that gives him a lot more time, really.
Mhm.
And then maybe get some Gabi damage in.
Yeah. So
See, David's gonna make sure he doesn't forget that exists.
yeah, like read cards. Absolutely solid advice.
Yep. It would be absolutely heartbreaking to have your polymorph just like canceled.
Oh yeah, or to like watch.
Okay, blue eyes. You want something bigger? Human Torch. It's a good.
Yeah.
It's a good one to go with.
I think it'd also be really painful just to watch, like, oh, this is the World Championship Finals match, and it's decided because someone didn't read a card.
Yeah.
Please don't do that to us, Dean or David.
Something that will make a lot of people better at deck building is if they sit down and play a couple games and they look at each die. How much damage did that die deal? How much did it prevent? How much did this deal? How much did this prevent? And the reason we're seeing a lot of resurgence of Sarina, despite of Constantine, and a lot of Johnny Storm coming back is people go back, play them. And wow, that dealt 9 damage and it had no right to.
Yeah,
Maybe it should be in the team.
for sure. It's like your return on investment. That I spent 2 energy on this die and it dealt 6 damage. I should, if I can spend 3 energy and do 12. That's obviously the better thing to go with.
Of course, you gotta pay the cost of the draw.
Oh yeah. Okay, so.
And most players avoid paying fielding costs if they can at all.
Yeah, one of the other interesting things about there not being a ping global like Slifer or Magic Missile is that Storm will be able to redirect to Dean's sidekicks. Dean is going to reliably have those sidekicks.
That's very true. So it could end up as a disaster. Just you forget about it, you try to get your Wolverine in, and suddenly there's a Human Torch in.
Yeah,
It's just the question of whether it's worth the ramp. If it's one mask, it's probably okay.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's really good about Storm as well is that Dean has spent space, but he hasn't spent energy in order to get this benefit. Whereas David is going to spend whatever amount of energy on the polymorph, and then it might be dead weight for the rest of the game.
What's cool about it is that it's pretty much sapping at both players' masks, dropping them into bad ramp, and then Dean takes the lead in a low ramp setting. So he built Storm saying a lot of these expensive Peak Shi-based teams are really dependent on polymorph and these actions, and then he decided to switch that against them and force both players into no ramp and see where that goes. We got 2 damage, 3 damage from Gabi, and 3 damage from Johnny Storm. Wow.
Well,
so
that is a lot.
Yep. Lord of D is dead.
And wait, he can get targeted by that?
No, he can't. My bad.
Okay.
I was thinking of Human Paladin.
Yeah, human Paladin would be in
Sidekick
a
is
bad
dead,
spot.
And if that's a level,
I forget which Hulk is Dean running. Dean has
green
Goliath. Okay, so
Jade made a resurgence, but for me, Jade Giant, it doesn't play very well from behind. You have to be ahead, and
that's fair.
And a lot of times, one Hulk activation is all they need. They don't care if their Hulk activates once and then your Jade happens. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so
if that's a level 2 Gabi, then David's going to have a somewhat interesting turn. Do you think he keeps the Solomon Grundy, or do you think he attacks with it?
I think he attacks with it. Like,
Me too.
I don't know. I can't see what level it's at, but I think it's worth trying to get the damage through.
Solomon Grundy's actual attack stats are fairly widely ranged. I think it
It's like
varies from 3 to 5 or
Yeah.
3 to 6.
I think it goes between 5.
Okay, he's trying to push in full damage.
Wow.
That's pretty brave play against a weapon 10 team. Does he have lethal that we're missing? Let's see.
I don't believe so. I think
can
he's-
block.
I think so. So it's
Yeah, that's
he's gonna block and trade here. I think, but
yeah.
So David doesn't have the ability to come back and do 20 all in one turn.
He doesn't.
Yeah, like it's not like the High Hopes team or something.
That's one weakness. It's no matter what, it's always going to be 2, and if you
Mhm.
don't get the 1 in a timely fashion, then
Yeah.
that second attack is going to be rough. Okay.
Okay, so
I'm pretty certain Dean knows what he's doing, though.
I think is that a 2 on the D20?
I have no idea. We can
Okay.
count. So he was at 13.
Yeah.
He's about to take, I think, 3, 3, 6,
Mhm.
9. Maybe it's a 4. Maybe
Okay.
Gabi is level 5, and that's a 2. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Human Torch is level. Okay, I guess Gabi's level 5 then? Because I don't think Human
Mhm.
Torch is level 3. 5 plus.
Yeah.
11
I'm
damage.
I'm sure,
Yep.
I'm sure the
That's a
the-
level
the-
3 Gabi. Brutal.
Yeah. Big damage. Big deal.
Oh, so he chooses to sacrifice. So I think the Human Torch just span up for 1 more damage. No,
No, that
I
can't.
have no idea what just happened. He used Polymorph Global. That's why he spanned Grundy something and.
Oh, he like spun Grundy.
Okay, he
X
spun
down.
Grundy down and
and
Torch
spun-
up for 1 more damage.
Okay, so David's at 1. This game is
This is
probably
rough.
over.
Well, if he keeps his ramp up and can get a Wolverine hit through right now, then he has hopes.
Yeah. So
Dean's
so
only drawing 4, and there's definitely more than 4 sidekicks there.
Mhm.
And only 2 of his cards will deal direct damage.
Yeah, I guess so. And Human Torch without a sidekick doesn't do direct damage. So
Yes.
there is that.
The question is, can David afford to just have Lord of D out there to protect him? Because he literally needs to use everything if he wants to get a Wolverine right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it comes back to what I mentioned before, that sometimes you just need to end up getting lucky. So you go
Which
for
he
it.
did not. Well, at least he's probably still alive, but this is looking a lot more tenuous.
Yeah. Does he try? Does he try and go for a second Lord of D? Poly it in.
That's actually super interesting. I like that idea a lot. Just
just
more things.
poly it in. Have one more body that's going to be an obstacle for Dean. You're still in the position that you need to get lucky to make things work, but
It's just there's
Yep.
still Torch and Gabi's. It's rough.
or he could try and go for. Oh no, he lose. I was just thinking he could go for a Manticore play, but he loses too many energy on that. I
Yeah.
think.
He can spend 3 energy and have complete ramp still.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not much to do with that. Of course, you can do Blue Dragon and another Lord of D, as you said,
Yeah.
which wouldn't be bad because sidekicks are just gonna get relentless anyways.
Right.
And then that sets up a board so that maybe after next turn 1 Wolverine goes through. If he survives another turn, he'll have 6 damage on board. That could be really relevant. It's a rough spot.
It really is. I'm curious what'll do. I think the, like you said, how sidekicks will just get relentless. I think it makes sense for him to just attack with the other sidekick, so he doesn't have any sidekicks in play. It'll mean that when you field characters or when Dean fields characters for Human Torch, that Dean's own characters would have to take damage. But that's not. Well, that doesn't matter.
That
David will die at that point. But in general, I think that's a good way to
That's a
try
good
and structure
point.
the play.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shot.
Okay,
Whoa,
so
he's going for it.
he's just going for it. And
Well, the next dice in his bags is Wolverine.
Is Wolverine.
Yeah. So,
So,
this is actually just the right play. Anything else is too slow and taking
Yeah, that's fair.
and banking on Dean screwing up too much.
Well, I think he's dependent on Dean having bad luck either way, but this is probably
Well, but this
the
is
more likely
reasonable
one.
bad luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how David would possibly deal that last 2 damage, even if things went right for him, though. He'd have to roll level 2
well,
or
that's
higher.
it.
Oh, yep.
Okay, so
Wow.
Dean went down. I'm just gonna step over there for a moment.
All right. I'm not sure who went first. Dean decides he wants to kiss the mat, possibly so that it shows it better, but also because then you won't have cocked dice. I'm sure a lot of people have played where their die flies over and just leaning on the mat, which technically isn't legal. Oh, I see. They want Dean to use the official playmat. Okay, that's fine. I can respect that. After all, if we let just anyone use any playmat, they can do some pretty inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, it's just easier to have like a blanket rule that hey,
Exactly.
we provide nice mats that, and also I think it's great to get show people, hey, these are some of the prizes. These are something you could go out there and look for and compete for, and so on.
Yeah. I think the DC playmats are the best ones so far.
Oh, thank you. We're our designers always love to get the compliments from the fans on things like that.
Yeah.
The War of Light one is pretty exciting. The Age of Ultron one is pretty exciting too. I think that they're getting better and better as we go along.
I don't know. I got a very slight, not at all heated argument about whether or not the DC Justice League playmat or the War of Light playmat was the better one.
I can, yeah.
I'm just a sucker for really bright, bold colors.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get it, and I think when you consider all the different properties and art styles and stuff like that, there's just a lot of different options, and you need to try and make sure that whatever it is you're doing plays to what it should match.
I'm not sure I saw David re-roll. He might have just wanted the polymorph and just didn't want anything but polymorph and ramp.
Well, even at that, I think he would normally re-roll one of the fists to try and get a sidekick. That way he could try and use Blue Eyes and ramp +1.
Yeah, true.
Something that he pointed out to me, in fact, when we were talking at Nats.
Both fists. So
Yep.
he must have re-rolled. He knows that. He's been doing that the whole time at Nats.
Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna re-roll 3. Shield, bolt, get re-rolled as punishment for not being masks.
Might be kicking himself because he only faced a single spray team in the very first round.
And
He might be wishing that
Doom Cal
Doom
was,
Calibur were Constantine or something.
or even just the other Doom Cal, like he's sitting across from a distraction in the finals. Very unexpected. Okay.
Still dying over here.
Yeah, so Dave can pretty much buy whatever it is he wants.
And his heart desires a Wolverine or Manticore. Oh, Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Okay.
I'm confused why he would.
Standard.
I'm confused. Oh.
It is a Gabi team after all.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I guess I just want to see Manticore. One of the lesser known benefits of using underused dice is opponents might not check their levels all the time.
Oh yeah, like
Allows for surprise polymorph lethal.
Surprise polymorph lethal is pretty cool stuff. And also, I think the polymorph global getting to surprise people is really good.
Yeah. I definitely got at least one win off polymorph lethal, and it's the most missed lethal by far.
Oh, I think so, because it's a lot more options than you normally have.
Yeah. Okay, 2 sidekicks. So once again, that Wolverine's gonna have a hard time snapping through.
Yeah, I think Dean just buys a Gabi and then ramps.
Yeah. Wolverine teams have this very strange thing. They want pings, because pings were kind of like an early game relentless for them. That's not masks. But Wolverine has only 2 defense on his level 1 side. So
Oh, is it only 2? I thought it was 3.
no, it's 2. So
Jeez, yeah, that's pretty rough.
so a lot of times you pass priority, you want to ping and relentless everything off, and then it's like, oh well, I have 2 wilds here. I guess I'll just kill your Wolverine.
That'll do it.
Yep. All right, so David's using his bag, much to his chagrin.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But it looks like with 1 sidekick, he should be able to slip through that first 10 damage pretty comfortably, which is a huge deal.
Oh, there's a Wolverine. Okay, so
Okay. Oh no! Wait.
he's
There's no. This is the rare Doom Caliber. That Wolverine is not getting through ever.
Yeah. but if oh no, I was gonna say if Dean doesn't realize. It doesn't matter if Dean doesn't realize, because
Oh man.
Dean didn't realize earlier, and just took the damage and lost.
You see,
because of it.
Yeah, David made a meta call.
He wanted.
He decided distraction wasn't what he was gonna see, so
He decided the spray was. And,
yeah.
You know, this could
bite him.
right, and as bad as we might feel that this kind of come around to bite somebody, maybe he wouldn't be sitting here had it not been for the call that he did make. So who knows?
Wow.
Yeah.
So but Norvik was super close to winning too.
Yeah. I'm astounded that Norvik's game possibly could have taken so long. Just gonna throw that one out there.
It's that Storm Global. And distraction just does that.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
There's
Those
just a
are both
bunch
fair
of things
points.
sapping masks away.
Yeah. It seems like if you're sitting in Dean's position, like morphing jar is a really tempting thing to include on your team, just because like, hey, I like masks that much more than anybody else.
I think by the end of today, he's probably just slightly dissatisfied with Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
It definitely does really great work in killing Jinzo and Human Torch over and over and over.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it do as much work as he probably would like.
Yeah.
David's thinking about the Relentless, but I think he realizes what it means.
Yep. But even if all it does is Wolverine is like a ramp killer, that could be pretty advantageous.
So Dean has the other play, which is do a transfer power, try to sap away some of his masks, but he goes straight into the distraction because he wants to ramp himself.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
there's nothing else. Oh man.
A lot of tough decisions here.
Yeah. David's probably just trying to get the Jinzo out next, stabilize, put some damage on board.
Yeah, because once you have like that linchpin of Jinzo plus Wolverine, you sure spend the globals to deal with Wolverine, and you're on that clock of like 10 globals before the game's over.
Dying again.
Mm-hmm.
But Dean can stabilize without ever using a single global. All it does is it turns Wolverine into this 2 damage a turn attack. And if Dean has a blocker, then it's not even that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow.
In a super slow game though, what ends up happening? What is David's late game? Does Spider-Man matter? I don't think so.
No,
Command
Spider-Man
support?
is the late game for sure.
But like when you attack with Spider-Man, I guess he'll soak up all the blockers, but you need to have a big board yourself. 'Cause,
Exactly.
Like,
That's the
Wolverine's not
thing.
attacking alone anymore.
But David has no incremental damage on his team. Everything is big. It's
Yeah. Well,
big
I
boards
guess-
getting through.
I guess Lord of D is going to be one of his tools.
Yeah, a really rough guy to get through.
Yep.
It would be cool to see David use your little strategy, just fill the board with Lord of D's and see how much Johnny Storm can ping.
Yeah, but there's a Wolverine in play, so he'll soak the damage in the meantime.
Crazy thing is, my games with Dean were really close. Dean's game with Norvik was really close. And honestly, the entire bracket could have been all flipped up depending on whether Dean won or lost, because his team is such an anomaly within the top 8 or so.
Yeah. I always think it's interesting that things could just have gone so wildly differently for the tournament based on a roll here and there.
Exactly, because then a person suddenly ends up in a matchup that they don't like, where else the other person would have been a matchup they could have liked.
Yeah. Okay, so
To be fair, though,
That's a
my
lot of
matchup is against David and Norvik is not very good.
that's a whole lot of wilds.
Yeah.
David wishes he probably had more sidekicks available to him than Ace.
Yes. He just needs that one sidekick.
Yep.
More would
what-
be nice for Blue Eyes, obviously.
Oh, I was saying like more as in he wished he had more than 8 because he's gonna ramp so much. But
he could play doubles tomorrow. Ask his partner to give him all their sidekicks.
yep,
I can't even wrap around what doubles strategy would be like. It's too hard to think about, the idea of tossing dice back and forth.
I put some thought into it, but not a terrible amount. It's tricky. I think there's a lot of teamwork involved, as should make sense. So
Yeah. You can't always be the hero,
right, for sure.
You can't just yell at your friend, "Yo, I have 6 masks. Just give me all the sidekicks." That's selfish. Everyone wants a little bit of glory.
Yeah. Well, if I think what I had thought about was like one, like
Wow.
left. Let's say, ooh, what just happened there?
He's just given up on the Wolverine. He didn't even want to knock the Wolverine out. He preferred to knock out the sidekick. It's really interesting. Usually you'd knock out the Wolverine and re-roll him, and then you let the sidekick be the polymorph target. I'm trying to what do you think the reasoning behind that is? I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
I don't know. Maybe he figures he's gonna poly in the Wolverine anyway, and so this is just like the cheaper way to go.
Wolverine's going back in his bag for sure, though. It's not coming out with poly.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's a misplay. Maybe it's not.
It might be.
It might not change very much, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think it's subpar because it means that you're not going to have the psychic die. No, I'd say you wouldn't have the psychic die in the use pile for Professor X, but that's not actually a relevant factor.
Dean may or may not have known it, but he just meted the meta by backpedaling and playing the old school, splashing a Solomon Grundy to deal with the stuff that he hates most.
Yeah, but I think that's very similar to David's strategy. He said, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
this is the thing I think is good. What do I need to do to update it?" And
Ultimately, that's what did best. I was playing around with all kinds of fancy things, and I was kind of struggling. But you look at Kelly, he's a really busy guy. He hasn't been able to play very much. And last night he's just thinking, oh, man, I don't know what's with this Kobold meta, or I don't know, like, all this Jinzo.
Kobold meta.
I don't know how to play with spray and against spray. And we just look at him, just bring everything that stops the things that stop Serena's and play Serena like he did at Nationals. And he was super successful at that. Where did he finish? 8th? Round of 8?
Yeah, he was eliminated by David in top 8.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
do what you know.
Yeah, David's had, I think, a pretty tough path to get to where he is as far as the players he's faced in the top cut. He played against Remington, who I believe made the top in 2 different WizKids Opens. Then he played against Kelly, who obviously was second at Nationals. Then he played against Sean, who won 2 WizKids Opens. Dean is kind of, I think Dean's kind of out of nowhere. He might have some accomplishments that I'm unaware of, but
he just slipped in.
Yeah,
he's local too.
But anybody can do it. That's the thing, right? Like, David was not someone who played from the very beginning. Dean, he's a local who decided to show up and have a good time, and anybody can go from, like, someone who plays their local store to being a champion. Like,
for me, Dean's team is just a bunch of tripwires.
Yeah,
little things. You see Solomon Grundy for the first time. You're so confident in your Hulk, and you get ready to ping Hulk, and you just look at it, it's like, whoops.
Yeah,
same thing with Transfer Power, Storm. These are the biggest tripwires that just get people.
Really, it speaks to his style of play, I guess.
He's checking, making sure we pay attention, you know. Yeah. And if you don't, he'll get you.
Yeah, and
okay.
Yeah,
I think David just feels like it's futile. He's not one to drag out a game.
Oh, jeez, that's something.
Yeah, well, because he'll never build up a board that can deal 20 damage with Spider-Man.
Hey,
Dean's not going to use
18.
18. Dean's not going to use a lot of globals. This was just an amazing team by Dean that happened to come in at the finals and look across the table and just see, wow, this matchup, it really is good for me.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to happen to somebody sometimes.
Yeah, it has to.
It happens to be what we're capturing today.
David Wall should just be happy that if he had to face Dean at all, he faced him here.
Yeah, totally agreed.
It's probably going to kick my butt for not taking this out of the pool for him.
Yeah, he wanted to beat you in the finals instead.
Oh, I was not getting past Norvik. I lost to Norvik in the group stages.
Oh, okay.
Because those taunts of Norvik, you can't build up a defense. He just won't let you. And I depend on just dropping a Jinzo and sitting him there for a while until I can set everything up.
Interesting.
Okay.
What's he? Oh,
he's doing the Lord of D.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just the right thing. It's the best thing for him to build up his board with right now.
Yeah, and so I think one of the sillier things too is that Dean is about to make this roll, and it's going to be 5 dice. It's not out of the question that he could have enough to blow up the Jinzo via Human Torch.
Some people might be wondering why not the Manticore there, right? Because he used a Wild and a Shield in addition to the Blue Eyes. Or not Blue Eyes, just a Wild and a Shield and a couple other things. Yeah. I'm thinking it's just because Manticore's level 1 stats are pretty low. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he has a better defense, right? Isn't it like 1-3 maybe?
But
it'll be coming up soon.
But it would reduce how much lethal Dean can build up on the board itself, because the sidekicks won't be fielding. They'll just come in and die.
They'll go straight to the prep area.
So then David just has to match Dean's character dice and no longer has to worry about those sidekicks. Yeah. But he decides Lord of D is the play, which gives him, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more damage on board, puts him a little closer to that 18.
Yep. So David's down to 16, and
And he has definitely not given up, as I
yeah, no, he
was afraid he did when he fist bumped.
respect play.
Respect, exactly.
So Dean is probably thinking about whether or not he wants to attack. I don't think attacking with the sidekicks makes sense for him, but Uh,
Absolutely not.
like,
There's no reason to because.
well, he could
Oh, actually, yeah,
he
he
could
could ramp
attack
them.
and transfer power, or they could end up in his prep area. And like,
No, you're right. Attack Dean. Dean should consider
I
attacking.
think should attack, and then David's kind of forced to block with Jinzo.
That's-
Dean will take 2, KO the Jinzo, cycle a sidekick.
Would you
It's
KO the
okay.
Jinzo? He's not using that much globals. He doesn't really care that much that Jinzo's sitting there.
I think you do. Nah. Oh.
Okay, no, he's going Gabi. So this is good because now
Dean broke ramp.
he's reducing his reliance on Jinzo or on PXG in general
Yeah.
while still pushing out the damage.
Mm-hmm.
The one problem is, by some miracle, can Walsh afford a Spider-Man field of... No, there's no way he can do all of those things.
No, what's funny is that Walsh could poly in Gabi and get rid of Human Torch.
That is definitely what he'll probably be looking at because he's not really doing much else with what he's rolling. I've never seen Walsh miss a good defensive poly, not even at Nationals.
Okay. So Wolverine's getting re-rolled.
Yeah.
There's that.
And he can intimidate a little sidekick into his blades. Ooh, no, he just wants the energy.
Ooh.
Walsh just wants to build up his board. He doesn't think the Wolverine would do what he needs. It's further matching how he polyed the Wolverine.
There's a
into his
50
use.
there's a 50-50 that he has an energy though. Like two-thirds of those energy would be doubles. I don't know.
So that's a 1/3 chance, but there's also
Yeah.
a 1/2 chance that he'll be
Yeah.
left with something he doesn't want to field in the first place.
Right, and then the 1/6 that nothing changes.
And the poly. No doubt in my mind that he
Good.
would do that.
Good poly. Okay.
All right, so he has some awkward energy right here.
So
It could buy another poly if he
he
blue
could
eyes.
buy another Lord of D. He could KO the sidekick.
Yeah.
Fist.
Well, he could buy anything.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah. He only
but-
needs 2 masks because he doesn't have
Right,
that much in
because
his
it's not
use.
that much anyway. Yeah.
Blue eyes, more Lord of D. I'd still like to see the Manticore. Manticore's level 3 stats aren't too bad. You know, if you're not doing a poly with it.
That's
Oh,
really true.
he's gonna push for the damage. I don't know about getting the Spider-Man before he has the lethal damage ready,
Mm-hmm.
but if he feels comfortable, I think I would have liked to see him keep his ramp a little bit higher, but
Yeah.
obviously one of his ramps would have been a 1-for-1 ramp. It's non-ideal.
Yeah.
He didn't lose much, and
That's fair.
we never know how hard it would be for him to get Spider-Man down the line. It might have been his best chance right at this point.
One of the interesting things about Solomon Grundy is that polymorphing him out isn't going to trigger his ability. So that's a big bonus for
Really,
David.
it says when he leaves play and not
Oh, no,
when
I
he gets
thought-
knocked out?
No, I think it says when he gets knocked out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying it wouldn't trigger his ability.
Okay, yep. See, we can see on the screen.
Fantastic timing. Yeah, Manticore's got some pretty beefy defensive stats, which is actually interesting when you consider transfer power.
He's a good utility kicker, and you're right. Transfer power would make him pretty relevant. The attack stats on most of the characters that Dean fields kind of caps out at around 4 or 5, unless he buys a Hulk, which is something he buys surprisingly not very often, because, like I said, he likes sapping away at both players' resources and then forcing them into playing his game, which is wall up and get ready
But I mean, that resource sapping game doesn't work when David's got a Genzo out.
Exactly. But right now, Dean doesn't care. He doesn't have anything expensive that he feels is necessary to have. He's able to buy Gobbies now and then, and he has so many sidekicks. He has 3 sidekicks on the field, so his bag isn't clogged up at all.
Yeah, I think it's easy to forget how important having those sidekicks out of circulation is, even if he's not doing the PXG ramp.
It's the perfect answer to Jinzo. For a long time, when I was playing heavy Jinzo, my biggest problem was, I'll just field my sidekicks and start using Sarina Gabi again. and then you realize how much damage each die dealt by the end of the game, and you just, why haven't I been playing this as much?
Yeah, it's like experience just counts. That's what a lot of this comes down to.
Yeah. Kelly finished really badly in the qualifier yesterday because he was testing around with new things.
Yeah.
And then he went back to what he's comfortable with and just wrecks. Same thing here. David, there's a lot of people trying to play Wolverine, but David knows the facets. He's ready for it.
Yeah, like he was saying before, he just played so many games that most of the decisions aren't new to him. He just knows what to do when they happen. Perhaps more importantly, he knows what not to do when they happen.
Okay. Actually, thinking back, David's field was fairly thin. Maybe he was afraid of transfer power. Like he didn't want to have Wolverine out there to provide a 5-6 damage transfer power target.
Oof. Yeah, that could have been really bad. But still, I could see KOing it to guarantee it's what you reroll.
Yeah, go for that double fist, just that little bit more energy. More's not always better though.
It's true. It's true. I think a lot of people are like, oh, all the character have to feel that. No, just like leave it alone sometimes.
You know, I've seen David's build a lot, and I think this is the first time I've actually realized Polymorph is his only 3 costs. He has no 2 costs.
Yeah.
That's
pains me.
Really interesting.
Oh yeah, it's different and it's clearly effective, but it pains me a little bit because you're so hardwired to think you need those and they're part of the fundamentals or whatever.
You gotta throw convention out of the window, and you have to also realize that Blue Eyes and PXG, they just change how things work sometimes.
Oh no, they absolutely do, and recognizing that sometimes you don't need both is pretty critical.
And a 3 costs is fine. 3 can be your lowest thing, and the fact that it can be used with any energy makes it flexible enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think that's one of the biggest problems at the low part of the cost curve is that you end up having, I rolled 2 shields, 2 bolts. Okay, well, prior to Constantine, you had a bad roll, and so this is kind of fix.
David just wants to push that 2 damage through. That's pretty good. He doesn't feel like the alpha strike is going to come from Dean yet, so he knows those sidekicks are just going to get prepped up again.
Yeah, but this could be... how much damage is that Spider-Man going to do? Like, he could potentially knock out Grundy and Human Torch, depending if the levels are in his favor.
I think he can knock out Human Torch. That looks like a level 1 or a level 2, maybe. And if you can't... Okay. What just happened? Oh, he knocked out the Human Torch.
And the sidekick.
And he blocked... Okay. And he let 2 sidekicks through.
Yep, so down to 14 for Dean.
That's interesting. Oh,
he had to let them through because of Spider-Man.
Did David use a poly? Just now? He threw a mat. No, that was the fist that he used to force blocks.
Right.
I'm wondering if Dean values those sidekicks so much that he didn't want to block the opponent's sidekicks. Because Oh
no.
no, he couldn't.
Spider-Man
Oh yeah,
couldn't,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this could be a big damage turn from Dean. Like
Yeah, that's
field torch, field 2 sidekicks.
it's looking ugly.
Gabi.
That's 4 plus another 3. Yep, 7 damage. And now they got to start counting the board. Dean has the transfer power edge, so that's another 5 damage to pretty much on any sidekick, or 4 damage on any sidekick. So let's check that out.
8 to 14.
He only needs 2 the shield, so he can even relentless the Jinzo here. Oh, this is easily lethal. If he relentlesses the Jinzo, whatever David doesn't block. No, there's 3 distractions. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, there are 3 distractions available to David, but still, it's a lot of damage. Once you just put someone low enough, the game kind of warps and they're gonna lose.
I wonder if Dean just takes the safe road, knocks out the Gabi, slow rolls it. He's not under enough pressure.
Maybe.
You know, he doesn't need to make any drastic moves.
Yeah, that's fair.
Trade 2 life for a possible 4 life.
Mm-hmm.
He could do that trade. Even if he misses Gabi 2 or 3 times, that trade's worthwhile for him.
Well, he could.
And he can even pair it with another Gabi buy.
He could also use the Blaze Global during his opponent's turn to KO Grundy and get the KO on Jinzo if he wanted to be Jinzo free for the next turn.
Yes.
Let's see what he picks.
But at the same time, if by some miraculous way David has lethal on board with his Spider-Man, then having that Solomon Grundy there to kill Spider-Man before he can declare attack,
Yeah.
it's kind of a safety net.
Well, I mean, he could get Spider-Man. He could just as easily get part of what makes the damage lethal too. So Dean's got a ton of options here.
Yeah. Ball's definitely in Dean's court.
Okay.
He's got to be looking at transfer power right now. He knows that transfer power definitely gives him this big burst, but does the 3 distractions do it? It has to. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that makes the most sense for sure. Dean
Dean just passed on attacks and David lost the energy.
Exactly. David couldn't use any energy. Maybe at most ramp once, but I'm sure he couldn't. He probably counted.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. Because Constantine has at least 2 attack. And so the 4 guys we get through.
Do you think Dean's going to knock out Gabi once he sees that it's safe? Try to get that 5 damage in?
Maybe. I mean, David can re-roll his Spider-Man and KO most of the sidekicks probably.
Yeah. He only has 1 mask right now.
Yeah, so Spider-Man is actually David's removal at this point, which is weird.
Yeah. That's one benefit of Spider-Man for sure.
I wonder if he's better off trying to KO the torch, and then so that has to get refilled, or if he's better off just KOing all the sidekicks. Like, because KOing the sidekicks gives your opponent more opportunities to put them back into play, but at the same time, like it's 1 in 6, but better.
Yeah.
Because you get to reroll. It's not that fantastic.
It's kind of crazy, but David actually is coming really close to being able to put lethal on board when he has Spider-Man, and that's when keeping the Solomon Grundy and Lightning Bolt always there will help him.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
He has 2 masks, and 1 new character. He might not be dead yet. Nothing but a sidekick. He can block 3 characters. And he can distract the thing that transfer powers. It's rough all around.
Yeah.
What's he going to look to buy?
Maybe he doesn't buy anything. Maybe he just fields Wolverine and gets ready to ramp or defend.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see what level that Wolverine is, but if it has a burst on it, I think the fish should be able to cover it.
There's actually so much spray coming up the brackets that David was right to bring the Doom Calvary Knight. But,
Hey,
luck would have it. That's just how things panned out.
They got him this far.
Mm-hmm. He didn't see any of it except for the first round, though.
Wow.
But there was a lot of it running up the brackets. There's me. There's Chris. There was Michael. Oh, Michael.
Oh.
What a team.
Yeah, what a team for Michael. Michael basically made an error against Norvik.
Yeah.
Oh.
He could have won that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
And then, does he have a better... Did Michael's team have a better matchup against Dean, you think? Yeah, breath weapon, right?
yeah. Wow.
We
yes.
could be looking
Michael's team would have matched up very well against Dean's.
What about against David's?
David's team matches up pretty well against Michael's team, in my opinion. Although David does not like spray.
That is fair. It's this is just how it goes. The rolls or the plays by one player end up spiraling out and affecting the whole result.
I'm just so happy to see how this Nationals came out. It's just a lot of really great stuff being played.
Yeah, talking like diversity and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Lots of good diversity.
Yeah,
we got Kelly running old school Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't care about Hellblazer. Just run Serena anyways. Dragons, kobolds.
Doesn't care. That's right. Is he running like one of the taunt effects? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's both effective against Weapon 10 and
yeah. I don't think he came up in their game.
and Constantine. Did it not?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I mean, it might have come up in their top cut game. But I don't think I saw it in their Swiss game.
Dean did in fact do the sacrifice Gavi.
Mm-hmm.
Went for that 4 damage. He missed it, but I think he still has a little bit of time.
Yeah, like just because he missed it, it's still probably the right thing to go for.
Yeah. I think he knows he needs to keep a bolt for Solomon Grundy though, because he never failed to do that against me.
Why doesn't he just buy another Gabi?
I think he's really considering that.
Like improve your odds.
I can't imagine why he wouldn't do that. Yep, there it is. And then he's keeping a shield
for transfer power or threat of transfer power.
Okay.
Like, because even if he doesn't actually need the shield, the threat is important. Like, he has.
Let me see. If Walsh can win the transfer power war, has Spider-Man, does he have lethal on board? All of his guys have pretty substantial attack already.
Yeah, but if he gets a sidekick, it's a whole different ballpark.
So Walsh couldn't ramp again. Let's do another quick count. Dean still has 1 relentless if Walsh had decided to ramp. So that's 2 blockers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Well, that wasn't lethal, but
Ooh.
I guess Walsh wasn't willing to take that damage regardless.
Polly can get rid of Grundy and turn him into a Gabi.
That's definitely what he wants to happen. He doesn't want to go for this. Okay. I would just feel like he wants to at least establish the Spider-Man on the board so that at a moment's notice he can make it happen.
So reading Hellblazer indicates to me that Dean probably called Spider-Man.
Definitely.
Oh, no, I guess not. Or maybe...
But he still wants to establish it on the board.
yeah.
Thumbs up. Love that roll.
Go from 2 fists to 1 fist. I think this is where having the additional pressure from like his arena could really benefit David.
Yeah. You know, Kelly showed him that. Don't underestimate Serena. She's not down and out. Constantine's kind of a butt to her, but she has her ways.
Yeah. More than one person has said to me that more than one person, but probably mostly Kelly, has said she's probably the best card in the game. You know, and that's that is definitely a very real possibility.
Manticore. I know he played in at least one team, but it's a shame that we overestimated how much Kobold there was.
Yeah.
I decided not to try to play against Kobold because I just kind of thought about it, and I don't have anyone to practice Kobold against. I'm pretty much the only one among the Dysonon guys that plays a lot of Kobold.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have been able to get good enough practice, and I didn't feel like Kobold was right for me personally for a competitive
That
setting.
sounds like one of those pamphlets that you'd find somewhere like, is Kobold right for you?
Is everyone running Jade Giant rather than Green Goliath? Is there no magic missile?
Yeah.
Kobold might be for you. And that was definitely the case on day one.
Oh, yeah.
I came home just completely stressed because I had no idea what was going on. we had expectations. We thought we had a list of things we thought we'd see, and then we come in qualifiers day one, and it's all over the place. There's no meta. The top team has only transfer power as a Marvel card.
Yep.
Go home.
Didn't even need transfer power. He could have used this thing instead from Mystic Box. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could use Mystic Box and use no Marvel cards.
Mm-hmm.
Really considerate of him to include them.
We went back, thought about, changing cards to deal with all this weird stuff that we saw. And then we said, nah, we're good. Come back. Second day, it's all meta. Dysonon fills the top 16. Cause
Yeah.
not to say we don't have creative people, but we're pretty busy and takes time to be creative.
No, for sure.
Oh, there it is. Congratulations to Dean.
Congrats to Dean. Wow.
Think he wants to just come over or
so
clean up first?
Well, you can have him
I'll
come over.
yeah,
or
I'll
clean
go
up,
tell him.
whichever one ends up being best for him.
Okay.
What a crazy ride.
I know.
Crazy. And just like that, we have our first ever Dice Masters World Champion, Dean. Oh, I don't know if it's Leyland or Leland. I haven't spoken to him yet. Definitely a lot of people very excited, even if not to have made it as far as they did in the event. I'm sure a lot of our players are going to be celebrating tonight that they got to not only participate but be remembered as some of the top Dice Masters players in the world. Everybody's over there just so excited. This is awesome. This is really fantastic. I see someone thumbing through a stack of cards, and I can't help but wonder, like, oh, are we already gonna make sure this guy gets some signed stuff out there? He is, I think, meticulously gathering his stuff. Man, this is crazy. I love that everyone's so invested in the result with the curiosity of who's going to win and what's going to win, that even after they are done playing themselves, everybody makes sure they continue to be over here. So here he comes.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is
So-
odd.
Yeah. So okay, Leyland or Leland?
Leyland, thank you.
Leyland. Okay, so Dean Leyland, first ever Dice Masters world champion. So, how'd you get started?
That sounds. I can't even comprehend that right now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So, when did you start playing? Let's start with that.
Started right from day one.
Awesome.
I had actually heard about it from an old coworker. He had told me that the game was, Game Like Warriors, Marvel Comics. I'm like, I'm in for that.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I'd been watching the release dates, and you know how that got pushed back.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but I'd been keeping an eye out for it, and I got in from round one.
That's awesome.
And then, I'd gone to a couple of events in the area that had got posted online.
And so, what area is that? Where are you from?
I'm from right here in Columbus.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yes, Rapid Columbus.
Are you talking like walking distance close, or like you drove here?
Not
close?
quite.
Okay.
I live about 15 minutes away.
Okay.
But
no, that's
and I'd met a
close.
few of the guys that are around here from playing, and we got a really really tight knit community here. It's great. Shout out to everybody here in Columbus. You're amazing. I would not be sitting here right now if not for everybody that I've played with. They all challenge me. They all push me.
Yeah.
But it's a great community here, and so having all of them to play with all the time has what's kept me into the game this far. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things about games like this is that you can go and you practice and you prepare with all your friends, and then at the end it comes down to there's only so many pilots out there who are gonna go and make the run, and here you are at the end. So
still not quite sure I'm getting it.
So what kind of advice would you want to give to newer players who are interested in trying to become the next generation of champions? Right.
First thing would probably be read every card. Be meticulous. You got to look at every single thing. Read, reread again.
Yeah.
There's so many cards that you look at and you think, oh, it's just nothing. And then you come back to it, and after a day or two, and you see, wait a minute, that actually works really well with this or with this, and just thinking of those things can give you ideas for other things, and it just keeps the tide rolling. So, that would be my first thing, is to read every single thing you've got, even the ones you don't got. Maybe there's something you'd want to buy a single of that actually rounds out your team.
Read them online.
Yeah, I had planned on playing a team yesterday that I thought had a really neat interaction, but it ended up not working the way I had hoped. So, but it was that kind of thing that keeps those gears turning in your head of how you want to play.
For sure. So what were some of the decisions that you thought, like, oh, I'm really glad I made this choice for my team, whether it was including certain character or perhaps something you removed that would not have been very good?
Today it was Deadpool. There was one game in the round of 8 where Deadpool saved my bacon. Like, he kept going through. He kept getting Constantine off the board. Swing with Deadpool, remove Constantine. He was a last-minute ad this morning. I had been looking at some other cards I had used previously that were good. I had used nearly the same team on day one, but I had Black Widow in before Zarina, and she's great. She did some work for me, but she didn't really push the envelope too much for me. She was a late cut, ended up taking her out, figured Deadpool got Constantine out of the way for me, Deadpool got Jinzo out of the way for me. If I can't get a Grundy out there to get those things out there, Deadpool's another way around it. And that one game, Deadpool basically did all that work by himself.
I think you just need to know in your head, like, these are all the different situations, and when am I going to fire it off? Because I think other people, when they don't see that, it's, oh, it wasn't that good. Well, you missed it 3 times when it was.
Right.
And so that's why I think putting in the games and having the experience and keeping an open mind is really important. So thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations
Thanks for
again.
having us. I mean,
take care. Good luck.
All of us from Columbus. I mean, it was a phenomenal showing from everybody here, and I just want to stress how great all of you are.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much from me and WizKids.
Booster Gold.
Oh yeah, I heard we had a Booster Gold fan who was not Dave Morris, and I was like,
I was playing him yesterday.
Congrats.
I was messing around. I was playing him. I was seeing how it worked.
Cool. So. Well, yeah, we're gonna close up Dice Masters streaming for the weekend. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Thanks to everybody who might be watching this on the replay on YouTube or whatnot. And we're gonna figure out when we can get HeroClix back on. Take care, everybody.